Welcome to A Jewish Mother
and a Latina.
Well, remember how I told you that we were told we're becoming a cooking show?
Yes.
We're not cooking today. Mm-hmm. Today we are cooking with our mind. Mm-hmm. Actually, that's such bold. But anyway, we have with us Kellie G. Say hi, Kellie.
Hello. Hi, Kellie.
You didn't say hi, Kellie.
Hi, Kellie.
Never mind. And Kellie knows how to read tarot cards. And she did a reading for me, which was really pretty spot on if you remember when we were talking about it. So since she already did my reading, today we're going to do a reading for Viv. So Kellie, start us off. Tell us what to do.
So first I'm going to have you, Viv, I'm going to have you just kind of shuffle the cards, handle them. And what you want to do is kind of think about what question you want to ask today, what you want to know, what you want to learn. And the goal of that is to kind of open you up a little bit. So people think that tarot is like weird magic stuff, and sometimes there are things that are a little uncanny that we can't quite explain, but I feel the biggest piece of what makes tarot effective is that it's projection. If you maintain an open mind, you keep an open heart, and then you can really open up yourself to the messages on the table. And it's not really what you're pulling, it's what that means to you. How you interpret it, how it represents in your life and with what you got going on, right?
Okay.
Think of the tarot as a mirror. You're looking into the mirror.
Viv's going to kill me after this. You're going to be great. It's going to be fun.
I can't even think of a question that I want answered.
You don't even necessarily have to think of a question. You just have to think about you, your life. Things going on in the past, present, and future.
She's thinking, is it true every time Tracy says your mother's a man? No, it's not true.
Okay. I think I'm done.
Okay, so cut the deck.
Are you one with the cards now?
Cut the deck. I'm one with the cards. Cut the deck.
Okay. So we're going to do just a very simple spread today, just to, for sake of time, we can do more in depth, when I'm billing your insurance, right?
Okay.
Okay, so first we're going to pull what you're thinking.
Okay.
Things in your mind. And what we've pulled is the Hanged Man, which he looks right side up because we can see his face,
right? But
he's actually reversed. Something that is kind of important to note about reverse cards is not everyone really chooses to read them. I haven't quite decided if I read them or not. In all honesty, what I like to do is I like to look at both and we see what kind of resonates with us, right? Okay. So I've got my meanings here on the tablet because I'm not that smart, if anyone's wondering what I'm doing over here. Let's first take a look at the reversed meaning, right? So reversed, it can mean stalling, needless sacrifice, fear of sacrifice. To move forward, one must sometimes take 2 steps back. You understand this, but there is a sense of hesitation here. You do not want to let go of all that you have achieved. On the other hand, perhaps your sacrifice has already occurred, and you are feeling that it did not produce the results that you wanted. That's all reversed meaning. And this reflects things that have been kind of on your mind. So does that kind of hit a nail on the head with you? With anything?
Sacrifice?
Yeah, because reversed.
Lent is over.
Whether it's reversed and whether it's not, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the inverse. It just means what the association is with the meaning. So regardless, the Hanged Man does represent sacrifice. Whether we read him reversed or if we read him in his proper orientation.
You sacrificed a lot of your time in your life. For your family.
Okay.
In what way?
My mom lived with us for 9 years. So we kind of had to work, and she had dementia, so we had to sort of work around, just making sure someone was always home with her and that kind of thing, and just rearranging schedules and whatever, and missing some things because, she wasn't always able to get out with us, so, or we couldn't all be out together because someone always had to be home, or that kind of thing.
So you sacrifice experiences, you sacrifice some aspects of life, but you also sort of sacrifice your own peace of mind, too. Because, while we don't choose to become ill when we are caring for a loved one or when we care for someone who is ill, we sacrifice part of our own internal wellness because some of our heart goes to them, goes to worrying with them and feeling with them and, fearing those potential disasters and the worst case scenarios and those ultimate outcomes. So it could just mean that's kind of been sitting with you. Is it something that kind of resonates, things that have been on your mind lately?
Yeah.
Have you been thinking about your mom?
I think about her all the time. She just passed in July.
Okay, so it's
She passed in July. Oh yeah. So I'm just now starting to feel free. But I still have times where I'm like, and my daughters even do the same thing, and my husband, like, who's gonna watch mom while we're out kind of thing. Like, I still get those kinds of, or I wake up and I go, oh, I have to, start breakfast for her or whatever. So I'm still thinking about it constantly.
And that's kind of because our brains really resonate with routine, with patterns and habits. That's why you see like those 21-day fixed diets, because it takes about 3 weeks, 21 days to either start, change, or stop that type of pattern, But when we've been doing it for so long, for 9 years, that's basically a decade. That's a long time. If we consider we all have 100 years, it's literally a tenth of your life that you were making those accommodations.
Right.
And so, especially when you're sleeping, when your defenses are down, when you're relaxed, your brain's going to pick up on those things. It's a learned response. And it's something that you can kind of deprogram over time, or it's something you can kind of just be present with when you do experience it.
Right.
And I'm sure there's even some guilt involved with that too.
I was going to say, yeah. Well, I don't want to get into it right now, but.
So, next we're going to move into...
Kelly, you're going to make me cry like Oprah!
Welcome to therapy! Okay.
Wait, we're in therapy?
We're in therapy?
You'll get your bill in the mail.
Okay.
Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
I'm GHI.
Oh, I accept it. Excellent. Good insurance.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh dear.
Stop throwing things at me.
Okay, so we have what we're thinking about. Now we're going to move into what we're feeling. So this is, I have to count the cups because I'm not smart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's the 10 dual commandments.
9 of cups, which is reversed. So now we're moving from the major arcana to the minor arcana, which follows suit, like a regular deck of cards would. But each of these suits is going to kind of have a different meaning, right? So our cups represent our emotions, our connection to ourselves, our connection to others, how we emotionally connect with others. And so we did draw our cup, so we can kind of reflect with that for a moment. And we have the 9 of cups right here. And as you see, he's kind of sitting upon a big, beautiful chair. And he's got all of his cups behind him, but the way that we drew it is also reversed. So I'm going to read, once again, first reversed, and we'll see what resonates with us.
Okay.
And I want to kind of clarify again, reverse does not mean inverse of meaning, it just changes the connotation of it. The card still carries the same meaning. So it means greed, smugness, dissatisfaction. There seems to be so much to celebrate right now, as you are able to have most of everything that you desire, but there is a lingering feeling that something is still missing. It seems that there is no end in sight to what you still want, or perhaps there's some key element that's still not within your grasp.
I don't know about that one. I'm trying to...
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. So let's look at the other side of it. So the other side of it is that comfort, emotional stability, and luxury. An environment of luxury and emotional stability where all available comforts await you. That sounds lovely. Indulging in all the joys that life has to offer you is signaled by this card, though at times there's a sense of smugness that comes from taking your situation for granted. So I think it means, you have...
I don't like that word, smug.
It is a very judgy word.
Vivian is the least smug person you will ever meet in your life.
I hear
Max
that word
is more
and I
smug
go,
than Vivian.
Maxie is very smug. Maxie has an attitude. He's very spoiled.
Maxie's a dog.
Maxie is spoiled.
It's because he's well loved and he lives in the lap of luxury.
I think is it inverse?
You did draw the inverse, yeah.
Well, I think that one was way off. Somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless cups mean wine. During the pandemic, we did drink a lot of wine.
It very well could.
Wine? Yes.
100%.
Just
I don't know that I'm connecting with the first that you said. The other,
The other one sits more with you. So basically it just means, what we're feeling right now, we're enjoying the comforts of life.
I am.
But we also may feel like when the reverse, meaning that maybe something isn't quite where it needs to be yet. Something
Yeah,
might
I'm
be
sure.
missing.
I'm looking for bigger and more and better. I'm totally thrilled with my life right now. Who's got it better than me?
Maxie.
Honestly, No, but I mean, I'm retired. I have, the weight of the world off my shoulders now. I feel free.
We have the show.
We have the show. I'm doing things that I love to do every day. But yeah, I like because of that freedom now, I'm like, I want more. There's got to be more to life than 9 to 5 and whatever. And I guess that's pretty much what I'm discovering right now.
Yeah, and that very well could be what this
So-
represents for you, just like on that journey of onwards and upwards, trying to fill in those gaps, make the most of your time. 100%.
Good.
Yeah. So next we're going to move into the action, right? What are we doing? What is going on?
What are we doing?
We got the wands. And once again, a reversed weird energy.
You are just one backwards
Tell
person,
me,
Viv.
tell me why you're saying it's reversed. Because they're upside down, not facing us.
Yes.
Oh,
Not facing
So the
you
way she picks it up.
right. And it's facing you guys, and not us, right?
And it's not necessarily, I don't read it necessarily on my perspective, I read it on my subject's perspective.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's your story that we're telling here, not
Okay.
mine. So we drew wands. And wands represent spirituality. And you have a 3 of wands. I didn't have to pick that one up to count because it's a small enough number that I can just look at. So,
Look at you mathing.
3 of wands, and I'm going to read the reverse first. We'll see what clicks, and then if not, we'll look at the other side. So obstacles, delays, or frustration. So this is like your action, your behavior phase, right? Though you have made the plans and are looking towards the far future, you are encountering many obstacles and blockages that you did not expect. Remember that these obstacles are all a part of the story that you are meant to tell.
That's interesting.
It's heavy.
That's heavy.
Yeah. The reverse is just looking ahead, expanding, growing rapidly.
That's it.
Bingo.
Represents a transformation of dreams into concrete plans and preparation for action. As you look forward for the possible obstacles in your path, you remain dedicated to your pursuit and ready to traverse your boundaries. So
Oh my god. Oh my god.
This one just kind of represents a journey. And it's a spiritual journey, emotional growth, and like within your soul, right? And maybe there are always going to be blocks in our path, just like things that we encounter along the journey, bumps in the road. But it's about your adversity to overcome it. So maybe some of those you have to sit with for a little bit longer before you move past it, and other ones you move past with a breeze.
Okay.
And that just could be what that represents. So just to kind of summarize what we have going on here, we have within our thoughts the great sacrifices that we've made. We haven't really forgotten where we've come from. We still carry them in our mind. We think about them throughout the day. Our feelings, we drew the 10 of Cups for what we're feeling, and I already forgot what that means. No, I didn't. It's love. I was like,
I'm glad you remembered because
I usually take notes as I go.
Oh my goodness. Is there a card about memory lapse?
Yeah, probably. It's just a picture of my face.
I'm just gonna sit here and look cute.
So we have this journey of luxury. So what you're kind of feeling right now is you're really, reaping the fruit of what you have sowed.
Okay.
And your behaviors, you're just moving on the path, you're moving forward, Even though you have these kind of things in your mind that could be perceived as obstacles, and maybe some feelings of something isn't quite where it needs to be yet, or maybe there's something missing from our journey currently, that doesn't stop us from moving forward. We still carry on.
I like this.
And there you go.
I knew you'd like that one, yeah.
It's a happy ending.
It's a happy
It's good when you get the happy ending.
That was good.
There's
That was
not always
good.
happy endings.
That was lovely. Okay, thank you so much. Now tell us what else you do aside from reading tarot cards.
Well, I just want to interject because if
Yes.
you remember, Kelly talked about accepting our insurance. Kelly, you use this in your career, don't you?
I do.
And your career is?
I am a licensed mental health counselor. I work in the Staten Island community, and I work with a lot of different types of people from all different walks of life and different venues. And sometimes when I work with some teenagers, they don't always want to play feelings, right? They're a little bit too old for feelings, but maybe they're not quite ready to really sit down and open up, have a discussion. Maybe they don't have the language or the insight, or they're just like, who is this strange adult and why am I sitting in this awkward room?
And why should I tell her anything?
Exactly, like who am I? And that's true. Who am I? Why should you open up to me? And that's something that we do explore in the beginning of therapy, getting to know each other, getting to develop a relationship, because you do want to be comfortable with your therapist. We don't always vibe with every person that we meet, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. So if you have a therapist, you're not vibing with them, you might want to change that up. You deserve it. So when I work with some of my teens, or just some of my more spiritual folks, Sometimes we will look at the tarot just for some insight. And like I said before, sometimes it is a little bit uncanny what we draw. But I think it's, more, if we enter with that open mind and an open heart, we can really look within ourselves. It's not always easy to look in the mirror. We don't always like what we see there, and we maybe develop what we call an ego defense that kind of protects us from those really harsh truths. I do believe that we all kind of hold the truth of ourselves within us, but through pain and through experience and through hurt and, just how we've learned to protect ourselves over the year, we build up those fences and those barriers, not just to keep other people out, but to keep ourselves out of us. And this is just a little bit of a roadmap.
I would love you as a therapist.
Right? Well, I have to tell you, I fell into her trap a few times when she was reading mine.
We went for almost an hour.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because we just started talking about stuff. And I've known Kelly for a while.
I almost started bawling 30 seconds in.
Yeah, and that's what's
That's
great
the
about
Oprah
this.
effect.
Yes.
Well, Barbara Walters is the one that used to make people cry.
Oh, all the time. That's right. She can make Oprah cry.
Yes.
Well, Oprah, she cried over everybody. She can make Dr. Phil cry.
That's a feat. That's something. But what's even cool about sometimes we'll be doing a bigger spread, something that takes some more time, and we'll just kind of stop in the middle because we'll hit what we've needed to talk about. And that's just kind of where we stay. We don't really have to rush through anything. If we don't finish it, but we're having a really meaningful, engaging conversation, that's kind of what it's all about. It's just opening.
Is an incredible way to get people to open up. It's just so interesting.
It's just projection.
Was this your brainchild to use these in therapy, or had you heard about this before?
I think it kind of came up organically in a session once, and I happened to have them in my bag for another reason, so we just happened to pull them out. But there are people who do this, and even when something that people share in common, between therapists, between the helping professionals, and between people who are more intuitive, it's very similar personality styles, And you always say that you don't go into therapy and then learn to be intuitive. You go into therapy because you are intuitive, because you understand those communication skills.
Right.
So it all kind of works out, and usually people who, we have some people who've been in therapy for a while, and that's a wonderful thing. It's do you go to your dentist every year? If you don't, you should. And if you don't see your therapist every year, you should, because it's just a part of your wellness. Just staying well, staying healthy, and moving forward.
Right.
So now, if somebody's if somebody's in therapy, let's say for 10 years, every week with the same person, is that a sign that it's really not working with that person, or is that typical? Is that okay?
I actually had a conversation very recently about this, and sometimes I think when people conceptualize mental health, mental illness as you are okay or you're not. You have a fever or you don't.
Right.
And that's not what mental health is. Mental health is dynamic, it's fluid, it changes and grows with us, and we have good days and bad days, and maybe we have some terrible deep trauma, or maybe we just have an unbiased person to kind of work through our stuff with. There's some surface area therapy, and there's that deep-seated therapy, and there's really no wrong way about it. It's what you need when you need it. Should you stop eating food because you ate on Monday and now you don't want to eat for the rest of the week?
If only.
But yeah, so it's just caring for yourself is what it is. You should brush your hair every day, you should shower.
You are brilliant.
She really is very bright.
You really are.
Thank you.
You really are.
She is. I hope Patrick appreciates how brilliant you are.
Patrick, he should.
Yeah, he should.
Now, how long are you doing tarot card readings? When did you start teaching yourself? How did you
got
learn?
my first deck. I was at SUNY New Paltz, and it's a very hippy-dippy, funky town. Very hippie, very dippy.
It is.
And so I had a friend who was reading tarot from high school and stuff, and she had her dad's deck, and she was my roommate, and we just kind of connected.
That's awesome.
And they say it's bad luck to buy your own deck for the first deck. It's supposed to be gifted to you. It's bad juju. So we went to the store and bought each other decks.
That's what we should do.
Yeah,
That's what we should do.
okay.
Wait, you think I'm going to remember?
No, that's why you have a
what each of these are, and the inverse, and the whatever, and the.
You gotta read along with it.
And then there's one with 3, and then Susan has 9, and you have to count this, and you have to forget it. I'll never do it.
A lot of decks come with little booklets that you just kind of check as you go, but it's not always about what the little description says. And there's different websites and different booklets. People have their own interpretation of them, and I like to look at them because it's great to see what other people interpret them as.
But I think you having the psychology background really connects with this and really helps you draw people in.
It definitely has proven to be very effective.
How long are you doing the therapy?
I have been working in the field since 2015. I finished my master's degree in 2019, and I, as of last week, submitted my hours to the state for my full license. I've been working, yes, under a limited permit for the last 2 years.
I'm so proud!
The journey's almost over.
Very nice. Okay,
Many years.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it takes a while to become a licensed therapist because you have to be educated and trained.
You're a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist?
I am a
or
therapist.
Therapist, okay.
So a psychiatrist is a medical doctor,
Right,
and a
okay.
psychologist is just a doctor that isn't a medical doctor, not an MD, a PhD, or a PsyD.
Okay.
I am not at the doctorate level. I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. I did my undergraduate in sociology, so those 2 degrees. Maybe I'll go get a doctorate if I feel like it. But
I love that Dr. Gainey.
there'll be a lot of Dr. Gainies in the family, so we'll just be
Oh
shaking
my
each other's hands
goodness.
saying Dr. Gainey, Dr. Gainey.
I love it. The pretentiousness. No, I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
very
You're the
pretentious.
least pretentious person I know.
Thank you so much
You're
for
very
spending
welcome.
time with us and
Yeah.
doing my reading and teaching us all about this.
It's been good working with you guys, and I've been a fan of the show since day one.
Thanks.
So it's
She's
good
had no
to
choice.
Man.
Well, this was fun. Fun stuff.
You're very welcome.
Number 20.